table here, so actual versus budget. And then if the deviation is negative, we have a red sign. In this video course, you will learn how to create this table. Just for example, if you change the actual value to 800, you see the difference in contrast to the first one. The next one are the bar charts. All cities have the same scale here. So if you change the value for jeans in New York City, let's say from 90 to 50, you see it will change also here in this chart. You will also learn how to create a portfolio chart. Here with the stars, question marks, poor dogs and cash cows. In this case we have the delta to the gross margin and the scoring points. So let's take a look to product 3. If you change the values here in actual, let's say from 70 to 30, the first step, and then also the scoring points from 3.5 to 1 point. And then the color change from gray to red. Then you will also learn how to create a chart for development. Here with the gray values we have the last year and the positive or negative deviations. So let's take a look if we add the value of September, just for example 25, then automatically the vertical line is also changed from August to September. Let's go to professional tables. Imagine that you are a sales manager and you want to have the numbers of your area from the finance department. You will receive the following file. As you can see, it will be difficult to get the right insights here. Let's start with the optimization. In the first step, we will create the title. Here we have P&L format to bold. Then avoid color. And the currency. Every number is a currency. We will put it in the title, so you can see it here. Then the number. If you use chart, you should use 3 numbers, and if you use tables, you should use 4 numbers. Then a finance structure. So we will place it here with the last year, the budget, and the actual. Then no borders. No vertical lines, you should prefer small gaps. Avoid color for a second time. Then horizontal lines with points. Decimal places. Then the sign. If you have a positive value, you should use a plus sign, and if you have a negative value, you should use a minus. Then graphical elements. So here for the last year we use a gray color, then for the budget we will use dark gray color, and for the actual we use black color. Then adjust column. Then the distance to the first KPI. Then the description, we will avoid it here. Then the deviations, you should prefer a delta sign. Then the size. The size here for last year, budget and actual is 11 points, and for the deviations you should use 10 points. Then the format. Then some highlights for the highest deviations, in this case the sales revenue, personnel costs and other charges. Then a headline similar with a newspaper. and at the bottom we have place for some comments. In this case we use 3 bullet points here for the sales revenue, the personnel cost and other charges, and put the numbers here in the tables. And if you compare it with the first slide to the last one, we have many options to optimize our table. Let's go to the deviations and tables. In this sheet you can already see a ready-made table with actual and planned values and the deviations in dollar and percent. Here's the whole thing formatted that negative values are shown with red font color and the positive values in black color. But if you have now several positions, for example up to 30 cities, you will find it difficult to determine the highest deviations. But there's a trick with the formula. And now let's have a look at them in the next worksheet. Here we see exactly the same values with the same deviation values. We will now process the whole thing so that the deviations are shown as bars in the cell area. Just for example, if we change this actual value from New York from 800 to 1300, you see it will change here in the deviation with a bar chart in a green font. So now let's check it out. How can we create this table? In the first step, we have to define the positive and negative values from here. So we will start with a positive value and we are using the following formula. So if the deviation value from cell F9 bigger than 0, then we want to have the value from cell F9. If not, we use the quotation marks for nothing. And you see, we will see here nothing because the deviation is smaller than 0. We will copy it all down. And then here for Chicago and Houston, you see the positive values. In the next step, we do the same for the negative deviations. So, if the deviation value on cell F9 smaller than 0, then we will take the value from cell F9, and if it falls, we will use the quotation marks. And you see we have here the deviation of -200 because we have a negative deviation here. And we copy it all down. So, and the next, I'm sorry, it's German here. So the bar sign. So for the next step, we will introduce a bar here, and we go to the tab Insert, and then here to the button at the right sign for symbols. So now you'll see all the symbols which Excel here offer, and we select the font Arial. And then we use the code 2588, and then we have a bar here. We put on the button Insert, and then we have here the different bar for every cell. So let's go to the factor. For the factor we use here an entry sheet, so an entry cell here with the value 0015. And then for the format we use plus diamond dot diamond 0 semicolon diamond dot diamond 0. With this format the negative values are indicated with a minus and the positive values with a plus. So now let's create the formula for the negative deviations. We say if the cell from H9 smaller and bigger nothings, quotation marks, then we use text from cell H9 semicolon. We use the format from the cell K9, so it's here with a plus diamond dot diamond diamond 0. Then ampersand, quotation marks once, space, quotation marks, ampersand. And now we will use the repeat function for ret. And we use the cell E9, semicolon, absolutely for an absolutely value from H9, multiplicated with our factor and cell J9, and then the quotation marks. And we should also use a red font here. And then we copy it all down. And now we will create the deviation for the positive values. So it is if, in this case the value from G9, smaller and bigger quotation marks. Now we will start with the repeat function here. So ret, use the value from E9, absolutely for absolutely value, and say G9, multiplicated by our factor and J9, and ampersand, quotation mark once, space, quotation mark, ampersand. We write text G9 and our format from the cell K9, semicolon, quotation marks twice, and enter. So, and now we copy it all down and we use a green font from here. So, and if we change the value now, for example from 800 to 1500, we have the deviation here. And with the factor you can change it, you can change the size. Just for example, if you will take 0008, you see the deviations will become smaller. Okay, now we will do the same for the deviations of percentages. In the first step we will create the formula for the deviation, and we use sum, then cell C9 divided with cell D9 minus 1, and we will multiplicate by 100. And now we've got 20%. We'll copy this formula down here, and then we will just copy this formula from here to here. And for the percentage I recommend you that you use a point instead of a bar chart. So we click here on insert, then on the button symbols, and then symbol. We will choose here font Arial and the character code 25 CF. So we have a point here, and we click on the button insert and close the window. So we have here the point, and we will copy the point right down. Then we will use another factor, in this case 0.15. Use the key F4 for the dollar symbols, and we will copy it all down. And we use the same format like here. So, and then we just copy the formula from the bar chart to the percentage chart. And we will copy it down. Then we will unhide the columns right here and here. One more time. So, and now if we change our values, just for example here from Chicago from 1150 to 750, you will see the change here for the values and here the percentage values. That's it. Okay, in this session you will learn how to create a bar chart like that one. In the first step I want to show you a no-go. So let's take a look here on shoes. We have a deviation of -15 in New York, and in Los Angeles we have a deviation of -30. But the bar here in New York has the same size like Los Angeles. And you will learn how to create a unit scale that the charts will show the right deviation. Let's start with the table. Okay, in the first step we will create the table for the 4 bar charts. Here you see the different cities. So we have here New York, Los Angeles, Miami and Chicago. And for each cities we've got the different categories, and here we've got the actual values and the values from the last year, and here the deviation. So in the first step we will create only the positive value. That means we will use the following formula. So if the value from cell F9 bigger than 0, then we will take the cell F9. If not, we will take 0. Then we will copy this formula and put it down. For the negative value, so if the deviation is smaller than 0, we will use the formula if the cell F9 smaller than 0, then we will use the absolute value. So we will use ABS here, and if not, we will use 0 and copy it down. So, and you see here we have here a positive value, just for example 15 instead of -15. That's very important for the different scale and the charts in a later part. Then we will create the maximum value. So max, and we will choose these cells here. Semicolon, we will choose these cells from here, semicolon, from Miami and from Chicago. So now we will copy the formula from the positive and negative value for the other cities. And we will make the check for the maximum. So we got 30 here, that's 30, and here in the city Los Angeles for the shoes we've got also 30. And then we will create the minimum value. It's here E9 multiplied with -1. That is very important for the unit scale in the charts. Okay, now we will create the bar chart for the positive value. So we will choose here Insert, and then from the charts we select a 2dB chart. Then we press on the right mouse key, then select Data, Add, and the first step is the positive value. And we select it from the G9 until G14. Okay. Then we will add the maximum value. Here it is in cell E9. And we add the minimum value. Here it is in cell E10. Click on OK and OK. So then we will mark the horizontal axis major grid lines and we will delete it. And we also delete the horizontal value axis. And then we make a double click here on the vertical axis. Then a new window will open. And we mark here categories in reverse order. Go down and here at labels, in label position we select none, and you see we have no numbers here. Then we will choose the bucket, then solid line. We will select a black color and 2.5 for the vertical line. Then we close the window. Then we will make a double click here on the max bar chart on the bucket and we say no fill. And we go to series options and series overlap, go to 100% and gap width, let's say 66%. Okay. Then we will make a double click on the minimum bar chart and here we select the bucket and also no fill. Then for our positive value bar chart, we will choose a dark green color. I would recommend, like here, you should use that one. Okay. Then we will click on the chart and we will select Arial because it looks much better in the graphic, and 1 point more to 11. So then we will mark our positive value bar chart, go to chart design, and here on the button add chart element and data labels, and we say outside end. So and here you see we have 0, 0, 0. So in this case we will make a double click on the values and a new window will open. Go down to a number and here we will choose a category custom and then we use this type here for the format code. So the squared bracket open equals 0, squared bracket close, and then the quotation marks, and then semicolon plus 0. So with this format code, 0 will show as none. Then we will click on that. And here we have only plus 17 and plus 4, but no 0. And if we change the value, just for example here for t-shirts, from 59 to 78, then you see we have here the positive value in this case. Then we will mark the inside frame and will maximize it. Then we make a double click on the chart, and for the borderline we select solid line and a black color. So now we are finished for the positive value. In the next video we will create the bar chart for the negative values. Okay, now we will create the negative bar chart. So the only thing what we have to do is to change some things. In the first step we will copy the chart with the positive values, put it in here, and then with the right mouse key we go to select data, then we will mark positive and edit. We will change from positive to NEG for negative values, and here for the values we will select the numbers from age 9 until age 14. Press on OK and OK. Then we will mark the green bar chart. On the bucket we will select a red color. So, and here we have the positive value, just for example plus 15. We'll make a double click here. Then the window format data labels will open. Go down to number, and then we will change only the plus for minus and click on the button add. Then we will close the window. And you see here we have -2, -15, -6, no zeros in this case and no positive values. Then we will mark our chart, go to chart design, and then here on the button add chart element we will select axis and then primary horizontal, and make a double click here on the horizontal value axis. Go down, and then we will mark values in reverse order. We will close this window and we will mark the horizontal value axis and we will delete it. So now we have the bar chart for the negative values. In the next video we will consolidate these two charts. So before we consolidate these two charts, we have to create the template and go to the sheet bar charts, and then we will start with our product categories. We will copy cell C9 until C14 and we put it here in cell C7 without the grid lines. So, and I would recommend for the row lines you should use 25 pixels. Okay, then we will centrate it and we will copy it again and put it here in cell C15. Then we need a distance. I would recommend that you use 20 pixels. And for the first bar chart, you should use 200 pixels. A distance, again 20 pixels. And for the next bar chart, we use 200 pixels. Okay, then we will connect the title. The first step, it's here New York, so cell C7. Then we need the second one, Los Angeles from cell C17. And third one, Miami. And the last one, Chicago from cell C37. Then we will make it bold. Okay, that was the first step. Then we will go back to the sheet data bar chart and we will copy the chart with the positive values and we will put it in here in the sheet bar charts. So, and now press the Alt key and then the left mouse key and the chart will be placed in the corner of the selected cells. So here, and we will do it here. And then we copy the chart with the negative values and put it here in the sheet bar charts. Press the Alt key and we will press the left key here on the left corner and press also the Alt key and the right corner of the chart and we will place it to our selected cell. So now we can't see the chart with a positive value, so we will make a double click on the chart with a negative value. Then our window format chart area will open and we select here in fill at the bracket to no fill. And then we will see our positive values here. Close the window. Okay, and now we will create the charts for the other cities. So we will go back to data bar charts. We will mark the chart with the positive values. Then the right mouse key, select data. Then we will mark positive. Go to the button edit. And here we will change the values. First step, press on OK and OK. Then we will mark the chart with the negative values, right mouse key, select data, mark negative, button edit, and we will change the values from New York to Los Angeles. Press on OK and OK. We will mark the chart with a positive value, Control and C for copy. No. Go back to the sheet bar chart, we fill it in here. Press the Alt key, go to the left corner and for our selected cell, and in the right corner press the Alt key and the left mouse key. That was the first step. Go back to sheet data bar chart. We will mark our chart with a negative value, copy it, go back to bar chart, fill it in, press the Alt key and go to the right corner, press the Alt key and the left mouse key. Make a double click on the chart with a negative value and we will select no fill. Then Miami. We will mark the chart with a positive value, right mouse key, select data, positive, edit, and then the deviations from Miami. Then we will mark the chart with a negative value, right mouse key, then select data, negative, edit, and the negative values from Miami. Press OK. OK. We will copy the chart with Control and C. Go to bar charts and fill it in. Press the Alt key. Go to the left corner with the left key. And the right corner. And go back. We will copy the chart with a negative value. Fill it in. Press the Alt key. Alt key. Okay, make a double click on the chart with a negative value. Select no fill. Okay, and we will make bigger the row to 25 pixel. So then we will use here better align, and then we will create the chart for Chicago. So we will mark our chart with a positive value, right mouse key, select data, positive, and edit. And we will change the positive value from Miami to Chicago. And then we will mark the chart with a negative value, right mouse key, select data, mark negative, button edit, and we will change the negative value from Miami to Chicago. Okay, okay. We will mark the chart with a positive value, copy it, go back to bar charts, fill it in here, press the Alt key, left corner with the left mouse key, right corner, press the Alt key and the left mouse key. Go back to data chart, mark the chart with the negative value, copy it, go to bar chart, fill it in, press the Alt key, left mouse key and the left corner, and press the Alt key, and we go to the right corner and left mouse key. Then double click and we will select no fill, close it. So then we will delete our template chart, mark it, delete it, and now we have a perfect template for 4-bar chart with 6 categories. So, and now if we change some values, just for example here from t-shirts, we have a deviation of plus 14. We will make a change from 78 to 40. And go back to bar chart. So here we have the change. And that is pretty good because we have a lot of information of deviations of 4 cities and 6 product categories. In this session you will learn how to create a portfolio chart. So let's take a look here to product 5. We have a green bubble and we go to the sheet data portfolio and we will change the values from product 5, in this case the scoring point, from 4.2 to 2 points, and the gross margin actual value from 45 to 30. Go back to sheet chart portfolio and you see the bubble will change to the poor dogs, and also the color from green changed from green to red. Then we will change the actual value from the gross margin from 30 to 45. And our product number 5 is here. It's a cash cow, and the color changed from red to gray. So let's take a look, how does it work. And the first step, we will create the table for the portfolio chart. We've got 5 products, then we have scoring points from 1 until 5. 1 is the lowest value and 5 is the highest value. In this case, we can use the value 3 as an average, like here. Then we've got the gross margin, actual and budget, and the deviation. And in this case, at the value 0, it will cross like here. So let's start with the first formula for the bubbles in the left field. So it's if and, then G5 smaller than 0, so we've got this case here, it's a horizontal line, and then next is D5 smaller than 3 points, so 3 is the average value. Then we will take the value of the cell D5. If not, we will take N/and A. So, and in this case, N/A will be shown, because if we would use a 0, a bubble would be shown. Something like here, if you use 0, and here you can see the rest of the bubble is 0. And if you will take N/A, no bubble will shown in the chart. Then we will copy it right down. And we see here we've got product 4, because the deviation between the cross margin of actual and the budget is -15, so it's here. And then we've got scoring points of 2, and it's lower than 3, so product 4 is here. Then we will create the formula for the top left, so that's here. And we will start with if and G5 smaller than 0, and then D5 is bigger, equals 3. Then we will use the value of cell D5, and if not, we will use N/A. And we copy it down. So, and here we have the value from product 3 with 3.5, because the deviation between the actual and budget is smaller than 0, but higher than 3. And this is for the product 3. Next formula for the bottom right, for the cash cows, that is if and, then G5 is bigger than 0, and D5 smaller than 3. We will use the value of cell D5, and if not, we will take N/A and copy it down. And we see product 2 as a value, because product 2 has a positive deviation between the actual and budget and is higher than 3 points. And the last one for the top right, here for the stars, that's the formula if and G5 bigger than 0 and D5 bigger equal 3. Then we'll use the value from D5. If not, then n/a. And you see we have a value here for product 1 because we have a positive deviation and we have scoring points higher than 3. We'll copy it right down. And here at product 5 we have a value because the deviation between the actual and budget is bigger than 0 and the scoring point is bigger than 3. So that's the table for the portfolio chart. In this video we will create the chart. So we will go to Insert, then we will use a bubble chart, and then we use the right mouse key, select Data, and then add. Series name is product number 1. X values is the deviation from cell G5. Then for the vertical line we use the value from cell E5, and then for the bubble size we will use the value from cell E5. And we will click on OK and OK. So, and no bubble is shown here, but if you change the value from the actual, so now it's smaller here than 0, and we will change the scoring point from 5 to 2, then we've got our bubble chart here in this case. We'll click on the title and we will delete it. We click on the horizontal grid lines, delete it, and we click on the vertical axis matcher grid lines and delete them. So then we will also change the values. That's okay because the value is smaller than 3. But here we have a deviation bigger than 0. So we will choose 20. That's okay. And smaller value, let's say 1.5 and 2.5. So all values are here for the bottom left box. We click on the chart, right mouse key, select Data, add, series name product 2, X values -11 from cell G6, the value for vertical lines, that's here on cell H6, and the bubble size from cell E6. Okay, then we will add product number 3, X values from cell G6, vertical line value from H7, and the bubble size from E7. Okay, then we will add product number 4, X values from cell G8, vertical line values H8, and the bubble size from cell E8. Okay, and the last one, add product number 5, X values from cell G9, vertical line H9, and the bubble size from cell E9. Okay, and we click OK. Then we will use a red color for all bubbles, because all bubbles here at the bottom left box. So we go on Home, then on the bracket, and select a red color, red, 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 and red. Then mark a bubble. We go to chart design. On the button add chart element, data labels. Then we will select more data label options. We will mark series name, deactivate vertical value, and label position at center. And we do the same for all other bubbles. So chart design, data labels, more data label options, series name, deactivate vertical value, label position at center. Data labels, more data label options, series name, deactivate vertical value, label position at center. Next one. Data labels, more data label options, mark series name, deactivate vertical line, label position center. And the last one. Chart element, data labels, more data label options, series name, deactivate vertical values, and label position center. So now we have all red bubbles. Then we will make a double click here on the horizontal value axis, and then vertical axis crosses axis values at 0, because 0 is our deviation here for positive and a negative deviation. Then go down to labels, and for label position we will select none. So no numbers are shown here at this line. Then we will click on the bucket for the line, set the point for solid line, and we will select a black color. Then we will make a double click here at the numbers from the vertical axis. Then minimum 0, maximum 6, because we want to use an average value of 3 points. So we will click the point here at horizontal axis, cross it, and axis value at 3.0. Then we will go to the bucket and line solid line, and we will select a black color. So now we have here the crosses line at 3 points. Then we will go back here to axis options, and then at labels, for label position we select none and no numbers are shown. Then we will make a double click at the chart, and we go to border, solid line, and we select a black color, and make a double click in the inside chart, go to border, solid line, and we select again a black color. Okay. In the next video we will create the bubbles for the top left box. In this video we will create the bubbles for the top left box. So right here, these bubbles. In the first step we need values smaller than 0 from cell G5, and for the scoring points we need values bigger or equal than 3. So we will change the scoring points, 3.5, 4, 4.5, 5, and 3.5. So you see we have no red bubbles here, and now we will click on our chart, right mouse key, select data, button add, then series name is product 1, x values, cell G5. Value for vertical line is I5, and the bubble size from cell E5. Okay, and then at product number 2, X values from cell G6, vertical value I6, and the bubble size from E6. Okay, and product number 3, X values from cell G7, vertical value from I7, and the bubble size from E7. Okay, product number 4, X values from cell G8, then vertical values from I8, and the bubble size from E8. And product number 5, then X values from cell G9, vertical value from I9, and the bubble size from E9. Okay, and okay, we will use a gray color, so go to the bucket and fill a gray color for all bubbles. Then we will mark one bubble, go to Chart Design, add Chart Element, Data Labels, More Data Label Options, mark Series Name, deactivate Vertical Values, Label Position, add Center. Then next one, Chart Design, add Chart Element, Data Labels, More Data Label Options, Series Name, deactivate Vertical Value and Label Position and Center. Next one, add Chart Element, Data Labels, More Data Label Options, Series Name, deactivate Vertical Value and Label Position and Center. And we go the next one, Data Label, More Data Label Options, Series Name, deactivate Vertical Value, Label Position at Center. And the last one, add Chart Element, Data Label, More Data Label Options, Series Name, deactivate Vertical Value, and Label Position at Center. So that's it for the top left bubbles. In the next video we will create the bubbles for the bottom right box, so the cash cows. In this video we will create the bubbles for the bottom right box, that's the cash cows. In the first step we need some other values, so the cell in G5 has to be bigger than 0 and the value on cell D5 smaller than 3. So for the first step, and some new scoring points. So then we click to our chart, right mouse key, select data, add, then series name product 1, X value cell G5, vertical value from J5, and bubble size from cell E5. Next, add product number 2, X values, cell G6, vertical value J6, and the bubble size from E6. Okay, then we will add product number 3, X values from cell G7, vertical value from J7, and bubble size from cell E7. We will add product number 4, X value from cell G8, vertical value from J8, and bubble size from E8. Okay, and the last one, we add product number 5, then X values from cell G9, vertical value from J9, and bubble size from cell E9. Okay, and okay, for all bubbles we will use a dark gray color. Go to the bucket and select a dark gray color. Then mark one bubble, go to Chart Design, add Chart Element, Data Labels, More Data Label Options, and mark series name, deactivate value from vertical line, and label position at center. Mark the next bubble, go to Chart Design, add Chart Element, Data Labels, More Data Label Options, mark series name, deactivate Y value, and label position at center. Next bubble, add Chart Element, Data Labels, More Data Label Options, series name, deactivate vertical value, label position at center. Next bubble, add Chart Element, Data Label, More Data Label Options, serial name, deactivate value vertical, and label position at center. And the last one, add Chart Element, Data Labels, More Data Label Options, series name, deactivate value from vertical line, label position at center. Okay, in the next video we will create the bubbles for the top rights. Here are the stars. In this video we will create the bubbles for the top right box. Here are the stars. In the first step we need some deviations which are bigger than 0. Here for the cross margin, and the scoring points should be bigger and equal than 3 points. So in the first step we will change the scoring points. And then we will click on our chart, right mouse key, select data, click to the button Add, then product number 1, X values from cell G5, then the values for our vertical line from cell K5, and the bubble size from cell E5. Then we will add product number 2, X values from cell G6, values for vertical line from cell K6, and bubble size from E6. Okay, and we will add product number 3. X values from cell G7, vertical value from cell K7, and the bubble size from cell E7. Okay, we will add product number 4. X values from cell G8, vertical value from cell K8, and the bubble size from cell E8. And the last one, we add product number 5. X values from cell G9, vertical value from cell K9, and the bubble size from cell E9. Okay, and okay. For all bubbles, we will use a dark green color. Go to the bucket, and then we go to more colors. And I would recommend that you use a dark green like that one. And then, if you click on the next bubble, you can also press the key F4. That's a repeat function. Key F4. Okay, then mark a bubble, go to Chart Design, add Chart Element, Data Labels, more Data Label Options. Then we will mark Series Name, deactivate value for vertical line, and label position at center. Next one, add Chart Element, some data labels, more data label options, series name, deactivate value for vertical line, and label position at center. Next one, add chart element, data label, more data label options, series name, deactivate value for vertical line, and label position at center. And number 4, add chart element, data labels, more data label options, series name, deactivate value for vertical line, label position at center. And the last one, chart element, data label, and more data label options, series name, deactivate value for vertical line, and label position at center. Okay, then we will change our values here so that we have some different values. So, and you can see we have some different bubbles. We have a poor dog, we have a question mark, we have 2 stars, and we have a cash cow. And if you change the values, just for example from product number 5, from 39 to 30, product 5 changes to here, or we change from 4.2 to 2.5, product 5 is here, and we will change the actual value 30 to 45. We have a cash cow, and then scoring point from 2.5 to 4.5. We have a star. In the next video we will create some arrow and the titles for the different boxes. In this video we will create some arrows and the titles for the 4 boxes. In the first step we will mark our chart and copy it. Go to an empty sheet. Here we will fill our chart. Then if you go here to the left top, press the Alt key, and then with the left mouse key you can pull it here to the corner of the different cell. So we'll do it here at left out the top, and right at the bottom press the Alt key and then the left mouse key, and it will close with the different cells. Then mark the inside chart, make it a little bit smaller, and then we will work with the arrow keys. So mark a free cell and then go here with the arrow keys to the left, and you don't see the marked cell. So we click on our chart, make a double click, and here at chart options at the bottom of fill we will use no fill. And if we work with our arrows, then you can see here our marked cell. So we will match some cells. Then we will use delta gross margin for this first step. Then mark the cells here at the vertical line, match and center. Then we will write scoring points, mark the cell, and then press the combination Ctrl and 1. And then here in alignment you can change the text. If you have the text here with 90 degrees, you have the scoring points here right down with 90 degrees. And then OK. Then we will go to the top of the right box, match and center some cells. Then we will write stars, make them bold. Go down to the right bottom box. We will match and center some cells and write cash cows, make them bold. We will mark some cells, match and center it, write poor dogs, make it bold, and center it to the left. And at the top of the left box, mark some cell, match and center it, and we will use a question mark. That one, make it a little bit bigger and bold. Then we go to Insert, Illustrations, then Shapes, and we will use an arrow. And if you press the Alt key, we have a pretty good horizontal line. Then mark the arrow, press the combination Ctrl 1, and then on line, solid line, we will use a black color. We will mark the arrow, copy it, and fill it in here. Press the Alt key, and we will create a vertical arrow, and we will put it here to the vertical line of the scoring points. And now we have a portfolio chart. In this video session we will create a chart for development of deviations. In this example, for January we've got $27,000 and a deviation of plus 3,000. In the first step we will create the table. Here we've got the months from January until December, then the actual values, and in this example the last year values. In the first step we will create the deviation here, and we say if the actual value is 0, then show also 0. If not, then we say D8 minus E8, and we will copy it down. So in this case, for October, November and December, we have a deviation from 0. Then we will create the positive deviation and say if the deviation is bigger than 0, then we will take the deviation from cell F8. If not, we will take 0 and copy it down. And you see here for February we have minus $13,000 and positive value is 0. Then for the negative value we say if the deviation is smaller than 0, then absolutely from the deviation. If not, then 0. And we've got a mistake here. If is missing. And we copy it right down. And you see here for February we've got a deviation of 13,000, in this case absolutely value. Then we will add the positive and the last year value. That is very important for the maximum. So the last year value plus the positive deviation. Copy it down. And then we need the maximum value of these values from positive plus last year. So max. And we've got the value 32 from June. That's the first step for the table. In the next video we will create the chart for the last year values. In this video we will create the chart for the last year values. So we go to Insert and then we select a 2D column chart. We mark the chart and press the right mouse key and then select Data. Click on the button Add. We name it last year and the values from cell E8 until E19. Okay, then we will add the maximum value. That's here from cell G8. Okay, and then here for the horizontal Excel labels we take the months from January until December. Okay, and okay. Then we will mark the vertical axis major good lines and delete them, and we click on the vertical axis and delete them. Then we make a double click to the maximum value here and series overlap to 100% and get width to, let's say, 59%. Then we click on the bucket and we say no fill for the maximum value. Then we make a double click here on the months, go to the bucket and at line solid line we select a black color and 2.5 points. Okay, then we mark the last year values and we choose a gray color. Then we will click on Chart Design, so the button Add Chart Element, Data Labels, More Data Label Options, and the value we will place it in the inside brace. Then we will make a double click to our chart and borderline solid line and a black color. Okay, that's the first step. So now we have our last year values here, and in the next video we will create the positive deviations. In this video we will create the chart for the positive deviations. In the first step we will place our chart with the last year values in the cell C21 until J33. In this case we mark our chart, then press the Alt key and press the left mouse key here in the top left of the chart and pull it to the cell C21 and press also the Alt key. We go to the right bottom of the chart, press the left mouse key and we pull it here to cell G33. That's the first step. Then we copy the chart, fill it in here, and then we mark the chart and right mouse key. We say change chart type and select a stack column. Okay. Then we mark the values and delete it. Mark the chart, right mouse key and select data. We remove the value of maximum and we add the positive values from cell G8 until G19. Okay. Then we make a double click on the last year values and grab this over 300%. Then we will mark the last year values and go to the bucket and we say no fill. Then we mark the positive values, go to the bucket, go to more colors and we select a dark green color. That's the first step. Then we will make a double click on the chart and we say no fill. Close the window. So now we need the headline numbers, and in the first step we need the positive and last year values, so the sum of the positive and last year values. In this case we mark our chart, right mouse key, select data, we add and name it headline numbers, and we take the cells A8 until I19. Okay, and okay. And we mark the headline number, right mouse key, change cell with chart type, and here at headline numbers we select the chart, so the scatter, and we click on OK. In the next video we will add the different positive deviation numbers. Now we will create the headline numbers, so we go to cell K8 and say if the positive deviation and C in cell G8 is bigger than 0, then we will take the value in cell G8. If not, then we will take the quotation marks for nothing. And we copy it down, and you see for February we have a deviation of -13, and in this case the quotation marks say that's here nothing. Then we mark the cells K8 until K19, right mouse key, format cells, custom, and here in type we delete standard, and we say the squared bracket open equal 0, squared bracket close, quotation marks, semicolon, plus 0. And then in this case, all the values here in the cell from K8 until K19 will have a plus. So that's the first step. Then we will mark our headline numbers in the chart. Go to Chart Design, Add Chart Element, Data Labels, More Data Label Options. Then we mark Series Name, delete the Y value, and label position above. Then we close the window, and now we will mark the first from January, the headline numbers, go to the insert function, and we say equal cell K8 and press enter. Then we go to February, then here insert function equal a cell K9. Then we go to March equal cell K10. For April equal K11. May it's equal with K12. From June it's cell K13. July it's K14. August it's K15. Then September so K16. October so K17, and November K18, and December it's K19. And you see only the positive value numbers are shown. Then we will mark the headline numbers in the chart, make a double click, and we go to the bucket, we go to the marker, we go to marker options, and we say none, and we close the window. And now you see the chart of the headline numbers are not shown here in this case. In the next video we will create the chart for the negative deviations. In this video we will create the chart with the negative deviations. In the first step we mark our chart with a positive deviation, copy it and fill it here, and then mark the chart with positive deviations, and then we say right mouse key, select data, we mark last year, edit, and we write actual, and we take the cells from the actual, here in this case D8 until D19. Okay, and okay. That's the first step. Then mark the chart, right mouse key, select data, mark positive, edit, we write NEG for negative, and we mark the cell from H8 until H19. Okay, and we mark the headline numbers, edit, and the values are the same like the actual values from cell D8 until cell D19. OK, and OK. So then we mark the actual values, go to the bucket, and we say no fill. We mark the negative values and select a red color. And then we need the serial numbers. So we mark here the serial numbers, go to chart design, add chart label element, data labels, more data label options. Then we mark the series name, deactivate Y value, and we say below, and close the window. So, and now we need the negative values. That means we say if the deviation here from cell H8 is bigger than 0, then cell H8. If nothing, then we say the quotation marks. And copy it down. And here we click the right mouse key for format cells. And here, in this case, we have for custom and the type the square bracket open equals 0, square bracket close, quotation marks, semicolon, and -0. And OK, in this case we have a negative value in contrast to that one. And we mark the add line numbers from January, go to the insert function and say equal with cell L8. For February it's equal with L9. For March cell L10. Then for April it's cell L11. For May cell L12. Then June cell 13. For July at cell L14. August it's L15. And for October it's L16. So now we will add the values for October, November and December. And mark the headline numbers, go to insert function. It's here for cell L17, L18 and L19. Then we delete the values from October until December, and you see we have no negative value here in our chart. In the next video we will consolidate all three charts. In this video we will consolidate these three charts. So we mark our chart with the negative deviations, go to the top of the left from the chart, press the Alt key, then press the left mouse key, and we pull it here to cell C21 and very close in the corner with the Alt key trick. we go to the right, press the Alt key, go to the right bottom of the chart, press the left mouse key, and we pull it to cell J33. Then we will mark our chart with the positive values, put it here, go to the top of the left from the chart, press the Alt key, press the left mouse key, and we go to the left to cell C21. One more time, C21 to the corner, go to the right, to the bottom of the right here from the chart, press the Alt key and the left mouse key, and we go to cell G33. And you see here from the months it's overwritten for 3 times. We make a double click on the months, go to the bucket, and here at fill we say solid fill, and we select a white color, and it looks much better. So, and if we now change some values here, for October let's say 35, and for November 20, we have the changes here. In the next video we will create a divider here for the vertical and horizontal line. In this video we will create a divider which will change automatically with the actual values. So in this case it's here for September, and we want that the divider also change with value for October, November, etc. We go to data development, and for the divider, for the x-axis, we need a half point more. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And here for the divider between the months, we will take 1.5, and we add the cell M8 plus 1, and we will copy it down. And then here for the divider we create a formula and say if and the actual value is bigger than 0 and the following months is equal to 0, then we will take the value 0.1, and if nothing we will say n/a, and we copy it down. And here you see the value of 0.1 because in October we have no value, but we have a value in September. And here on the axis 9.5, that means we need the point right here. So we will go to our chart, click the right mouse key, then select data, we say add right divider. For the x values we will take the values from cell M8 until M19, and here for the y values we take the values from cell N8 until N19. And OK. So, and if you go to here to the chart, you see the divider point is right here. Then we go to Insert and Illustrations and Shapes, and we select here the line and press the Alt key, so we will get a vertical line. Then right mouse key, format shape. Then here at the bucket, at line and solid line, we select a black color. Then bigger, 2.5, close. We mark the vertical line and press the combination Ctrl and C for copy. Then we mark our divider point here, and we fill it in with Control V. Yeah, one more. Copy it, mark our point, and fill it with Control V. So now if we will add a value for October, just for example 20, our divider will spring between October and November, and if we delete the values from August until October, the divider is right here. That's the trick with the divider. Mark it and delete it. And now we will place our chart here in the sheet chart development. So, and we work with the arrow keys. Go to the cell C21, we press the Shift key, go right to cell J21, we press already the Shift key, and with the arrow key go down until line 33. We cut it and we go to chart development. We select cell 3 and we fill it in. And all our charts, 3 charts, are now here replaced. So that's the trick with the deviation of dollar deviations. In this session we will create a chart for the development of percentage deviations. In the first step we will create the table and go here and we say if the actual value is bigger than 0, then cell D8 divided with cell E8 minus 1 and semicolon 0. And copy it down. So here we mark the cells and say the button %style. Then we will define the positive and negative deviations, and we say if the deviation of cell 08 bigger than 0, then cell 08, and if not, then 0. And we copy it down. And negative deviation, we say if deviation smaller than 0, then ABS for absolutely value of 08, semicolon 0, and we copy it down. Then we will define the maximum value, so max, and we mark the cells P8 until Q19 and multiplicate it, the maximum value, by -1. And we mark it and we make a click on the button %style. That's the first step. In the next video we will create the chart for the positive deviations. Now we will create the chart for the positive deviations. So we go to Insert, then here to a 2D column chart, and we mark the chart, right mouse key, select Data, Add, then POS for positive values, and we mark the cells P8 until P19. Okay. Then we add the maximum value from cell R8, and we add the minimum value from cell are 9. Okay, and okay. So now we mark here the vertical axis major grid lines and delete them, and we mark the vertical value axis and delete them. We make a double click here on the horizontal axis, go down to labels, and here at label position we select none, go up to the bucket, and we go to line, solid line, and select a black color and the size 2.5 points. Okay. Then we make a double click to our maximum value and overlap to 100% and give this the maximum 500%. Then we go to the bucket and we say no fill, and we mark also the minimum value and say no fill. Then we mark the positive value, go to home, to the bucket, and we select more colors and a dark green color like that one. Then we go to chart design, add chart element, data labels, and we say outside end. So, and we see we have here a lot of zero values, so we mark all the values and then we press right mouse key, format data labels, and then we go to the bucket and we go to label options and to number, go down, then we select at category custom, and here at format code we write square bracket open equal 0, square bracket close, quotation marks, semicolon, and then plus 0%, and click on add button, and then you see we have no zero values here. Close the button, and then we make a double click on our chart and go to border, solid line, and select a black color and close the window. In the next video we will create the chart for the negative deviations. Now we will create the chart for the negative deviations. So we mark our chart, copy it and put it down here. Then we mark the chart, right mouse key, select data. Then we mark positive, button edit, and we write neg for negative deviations, and we mark the negative deviations from the Q8 until Q19. Okay, and okay. Go down, we mark the deviations, and we select a red color. Then we go to chart design, add chart element, go to data labels, more data label options, go down here to number, then format code, we write square bracket open equal 0, square bracket close, quotation marks, semicolon, minus 0%, and click on the add button, and you see we have no zero values here. Close the window, mark the chart, chart design, go to add chart element, then axis and primary vertical. Make a double click on the vertical line here and go down here in axis options. We say values in reverse order. Close the window and we mark the vertical axis and delete it. Then we will make a double click here on the chart and we say at the bucket we say no fill and close the window. In the next video we will consolidate these charts. In this video we want to consolidate these two charts, so we mark our chart with the positive deviations, then we cut it, go to sheet chart development to cell C17 and paste it, and then we press the Alt key and go to the top left of the chart, left mouse key, and go exactly to cell C17, and we go to the right bottom of the chart, press the Alt key and the left mouse key and put it to cell J25. Go back to sheet data development, we mark the chart with a negative deviation, cut it and we paste it here. Go to the top left of the chart, press the Alt key, left mouse key, go to cell C17 and we go to the right bottom of the chart, press the Alt key, left mouse key and go to cell J25. So, and now we can compare here the deviations of the dollars, so the absolutely deviations and the percentage deviation. In this video we will insert the divider here in our percentage chart, so we will mark our chart, right mouse key, select data, add name divider, then values. We can use the same values like here from cell N8 until N19. Click on OK and OK. Then here we mark our divider value, right mouse key, then change chart type. And here for the divider we select the following chart, a scatter. Okay. Then we will mark our chart, click on the right mouse key, select data, we mark the divider, edit, and for the X values we use the cells M8 until M19. Okay. And OK. Then we go to Insert, to Illustrations, Shapes. We select a line, press the Alt key for a vertical line, we mark it, right mouse key, Format Shape. Then we select a black color and the size 2.5 points. We copy it and then we mark our divider and paste it with Ctrl V. One more time. Mark, copy, mark the divider and paste it with Ctrl V. And now we have also a divider for our percentage deviation chart. In the next video, we will insert the different ones for the positive and negative values. Now we will insert the different months for our percentage chart. So in the first step, we have to create the values in a table in the sheet Data Development for the positive and negative months. So we go to cell S8 and we say if the deviation in cell 08 bigger than 0, semicolon, then we will take the months from cell C8, semicolon, and quotation marks for nothing. And we copy it down. And then the same for the negative months. So we say if the value in cell 08 smaller than 0, semicolon, we use the months from cell C8, semicolon, and quotation marks for nothing. Copy it down, and then we will put it in the center, and you see for the positive deviations we have positive months and we have negative months. Now we will go back to the chart, mark the chart, then right mouse key, select data. Here we have the chart for the negative deviations. Go to horizontal axis labels, edit, and we select the months from cells T9 until T19, and OK, and OK. Then we will mark the chart, go to chart design, add chart element, then axis, more axis options, and here at axis options go down to labels, and we select next to axis at label position, and here we have the months from the negative deviations. Then we mark the chart, right mouse key, say send to back. So now we have the positive deviations here, right mouse key, select data, go to edit, add horizontal axis labels, and we use the months from cells S8 until S19. OK, and OK. We mark the chart, go to chart design, add chart element, axis, more axis options, and at axis options go down to labels, and here at label position we select next to axis, and we have the months for the positive deviations. Then we mark the chart, right mouse key, and we say send to back. And now here we have the different months. And if we change the values, just for example here in January we have a positive value, let's change it to a negative value, just for example 20. Go back to chart development, and here we have a negative deviation and the months will also change. That's the trick with the months. In this video you will learn how to use the Excel camera for a transfer from Excel to PowerPoint. In the first step we go to the front here with the Customize Quick Access toolbar and select More Commands. Then here in Quick Access toolbar, choose commands. We will select All Commands, then mark any sign here. So now it works. And then we press the key C and go down to camera. It's here, we mark it and we say button add and OK. And now we have the camera here, and now we mark these cells here from our chart. Click on the camera. We open a new PowerPoint file, delete the title and the subtitle, and we go here to the arrow from paste and select paste special. Then we say paste link, Microsoft Excel worksheet, and we say OK. Here's our chart. We place it in the middle, say right mouse key, and we say update link, close it, and then we will save the PowerPoint file, just for example here, as Excel camera or another name, and say save. Say yes. So then we close PowerPoint, and let's take a last look here to the deviations from January and February, -7 and -13. Close it, and we press the key escape. Now we will change the values from January and February. Here's 35 and 40. Go back to chart development, and now we have here positive deviations. Save the file, and now we go back to our Excel camera and our PowerPoint file. Double click, and then PowerPoint asks us for update links. Yes. And you see we have positive deviations here. That's the trick with the Excel camera.